I've been a part of this amazing ministry called Master's Commission for almost 20 years now. But even to this day, when I'm asked the question by a parent or even a student, maybe a pastor calls me and says, "Hey, I've heard about Master's Commission, but tell me, what is Master's Commission?" I still struggle with explaining fully what Master's Commission is. Not because it's difficult to explain, but because it's so much. A parent will ask me, "Was Master's Commission Bible college?" Yeah, the simple answer is, yeah, it is. But it's so much more than a Bible college. Bible college gives you the opportunity to learn about God, to know God. But Master's Commission gives you the opportunity to know God and make Him known. There's so many things that a student gets to do besides studying. There's so many things that a student gets to be a part of besides reading God's Word. Master's Commission gives them an opportunity for their lives to be changed forever. A student may ask me, "Pastor Derek, what is Master's Commission?" And I answer them as best that I can. And I tell them it's an opportunity for them to get closer to God than they ever have before in their lives. They dedicate themselves to knowing God and making Him known. If a pastor comes to me and says, "Well, tell me about Master's Commission. How would this fit in my church?" Well, Pastor, the best way for me to describe how it can benefit you and your church is that I'm looking at this house, and it's an amazing house. It's a beautiful house. It's sitting here on the ledge of a cliff overlooking a lake. And it's established 3 stories high. There's marble floors in this house. There's granite countertops in this house. It's a heavy house. But this house never could have been built here on this lake if it didn't have a solid foundation. And that's the best way to describe Master's Commission. I read an article several years ago. In this article, it was talking about young people who went to church, knew God, were involved in the things of church their whole entire life. They got to the age of college age, and they were starting to make their own decisions in life. Where do I go? What do I do? That very critical crossroads that our Master's Commission student ages are. And in that crossroads, these students made the choice to go on to college. It might have been Bible college. It might have been secular university where they were studying to become a lawyer, a doctor. It didn't matter. But this article said when those students went away to college, that over 90% of them went to college and never returned back to the church. That broke my heart. I've tried to figure out, why is it that they're not connecting? Why is it that they go away from God and they never come back? Because they get into the secular world. They get into the society that we live in, and they're so confused. They're being told things by professors. They're being told things by friends that makes them question their faith. And if they don't have a solid foundation, they start to stumble. Well, that's exactly the best way for me to describe to a pastor, to a mom or dad, to a student. Master's Commission is an opportunity for you to establish a solid foundation in your life that you can build the biggest dreams that your heart desires. God has a plan for your life, and His plan is to prosper you, not to harm you, but to give you a hope and a future. God's plan is to make your dreams come true. But if you don't have a foundation in your life, then you cannot build the huge dreams that God has planned for you. Master's Commission is that opportunity. Pastor, if you want to see discipleship explode in your church, if you want to see people become passionate about the things of God again, let them establish a foundation to know God and make Him known. That's exactly what Master's Commission does.
The reason I came for UMC is I grew up in the church and I was wanting to know God, and I really didn't know where to go, and I needed some place to just distance myself and get to know God one-on-one, and UMC really provided that for me.
I came to UMC because I saw a shirt in my church, Promised Land Covenant, and it had the logo in the back, and I believe God was speaking to me to go to Chicago for that program. And I was praying and fasting, and I just knew God confirmed for me to come to this Master's Commission.
I came to UMC because I made a promise to God when I was a kid that once I got to college, I was going to dedicate my life fully to God. And so I made that promise, and I kept going through life, through high school. I completely forgot about the promise. And once I got back to college, there was an internship at my church, and that was God's way of reminding me, come to UMC. So I had to drop everything, leave everything, just like the disciples, just leave everything and come follow me. So that's why I'm at UMC, just being obedient to God.
Some of my goals were to know what my calling was and to know my purpose here in North Lake and what God wants to do with my life, and to figure out what spiritual gifts I have and what ways I can be a blessing to the body of Christ.
Some of my goals was to know who God really was and the great things He's done for me in my life. I know He did a lot of good things, but I really need to know Him on an intimate level.
Some of my goals in UMC were really to grow in my inner wholeness, to grow in my relationship with God, to grow in ministry and leadership, and really go to the next level, the next chapter of my life. Because I know from a young age, I knew this, that God had a calling in my life, and God opened the door of where I could train and equip. God could use people to equip me to become a better leader and a better man of God that He has created me to be.
There was one time where my director, Pastor Richard, he was talking to me about something that I didn't do, right? I didn't do it right, and I was like, man, why are you so mad about this? Like, it's no big deal. And he was trying to discipline me, and he told me, in a loving way, he told me, you know what, I think that you keep getting this wrong because it just doesn't matter to you. And that hit me real hard. I've gone throughout life, for almost all my life, just not being impacted by anything. Kind of like, I mean, if I failed at it, whatever. If I didn't do that right, whatever. I'll get another chance and another chance and another chance. And he was telling me, Brianna, when are you gonna stop being okay with not doing your best? When are you gonna stop learning lessons over and over and over and over again? And that impacted me to be a great leader, I believe, because I stopped just being okay with being mediocre, just normal. I wanted to be more than that. I wanted to strive for something and not just let life live me. I wanted to live life. So, yeah.
The consistency of the schedule, especially the cleaning, because it kind of shows me that even though it's a daily task, it's important because it improves your character, and that really shows your identity. If you, let's say, stop being consistent, then that really does, I guess, ruin who you can become later on.
What impacted my life the most at UMC is the great and amazing leaders that I was able to be around and observe how they do their ministry, how they run things, and the leadership classes we have been taking. It really was an eye-opener to me on how things are done within ministry, because I didn't grow up in a Christian home, and I really didn't understand what ministry was or how to be a leader or any of that. So just being able to be a part of Master's Commission and being able to go help out with other ministries of well-known pastors who are amazing leaders, it just gave me a good understanding of what ministry is and what it's all about.
One of the things that impacted me the most was Master's Commission Conference. God really did a lot of just confirmation within my life. He did a lot of promises that He talked to me about, and it was impactful to me.
What has impacted me in UMC the most is the discipline, the order, the love, in U-Turn Masters Commission itself, the directors, the students that surround me, the community in the church as well has really helped me a lot, that we could all just grow together and really deep in my spiritual relationship and with God. It has really impacted me. It has been a challenge, but it's been one of the greatest rewards in my life.
This is a good one. So, it was one of our first classes with Pastor Larry. Now, he's a senior pastor. And we were reading, I just found it actually, 2 Samuel chapter 23. It was talking about, well, he was talking about how David had 3 mighty men and they were trying to get water for him. And I'm gonna read verse 9, it was so funny. It says, and next to him among the 3 mighty men was Eleazar, the son of, now it's spelled D-O-D-O. And Isaiah was reading it, and he said, the son of, and he paused for a moment, he said, the son of Dudu? And then he kind of looked at everybody and was like, Dudu? This is the Dudu, right? And I lost it. And I had to be asked to take care of Pastor Richard's daughter. I really didn't know where she was, but I kept laughing, so I had to get out. It was really funny.
Some of the funniest memories of UMC is with Isaiah Espada. He's one of the second years in the program, and he's a very jumpy guy. And I remember every moment that I have, I just scare him, and he just reacts in the most hilarious way possible.
I think the funniest moment for me was when we were on tour and we were in Boston, and I was talking about how I missed a big city. And Chicago is a big city, but I was saying how Boston had these highways that were kind of up top, over streets and over, cities. And my pastor, he goes, Chicago has that too. And we drove the whole time of him just explaining to me how Chicago has highways and how I shouldn't talk about Chicago. And it was so funny of him just defending his town.
Funniest memory at UMC was when Luis Garcia, who was a student, he was recording William, who also is a student, and he was imitating me because at Master's Commission, everybody says that I'm on 100 all the time, meaning that I'm always like hyper and I have all this energy all the time. Every time I wake up, I'm a morning person, so I'm all over the place, and everybody else is not really a morning person. So he was imitating me being on 100, and it was the funniest video ever, and I have the video if anyone ever wants to see it.
Well, we started doing Insanity in the mornings. We did it in pairs, someone doing the night, and me and Will work out in the morning, and we would get really intense to the workout. And then there's this morning where Will, he was doing power jumps, and he was farting every time he landed, and it was hilarious, man. I was dying rolling on the floor.
I'm definitely gonna miss the space and opportunity to make mistakes. You don't stop making mistakes in life. I'm gonna continue making mistakes. I'm not perfect, no one is. And I'm not saying in UMC or Master's Commission that you got it all together, because you do not. And there's a lot of people who look at us and they think that we have it all together because we're praying 1 hour in the morning and we're, chasing after God. But we're chasing after God because we're so imperfect. And Master's Commission is so aware that we're gonna make mistakes, we're gonna do stuff wrong, And my director has given us space and opportunity to make those mistakes, get it wrong. And this is the one place in life that I know it's okay to learn things. And it's okay to be bad at things. It's okay to show my weaknesses and my fears to everyone around me and people in my Master's Commission. We just love on each other when we're making mistakes and not getting it right. Because it's not about being perfect. It's about learning and learning together. And I'm just gonna miss that time. I don't think there's any other time in life where I'm gonna be able to make as many mistakes as I do and laugh at it and say, oh, man, I'm gonna learn from that. I'm gonna do it better.
One of the things I'm gonna miss the most about UMC is sometimes with the guys, we would just sit down at a table and we just have guy talk. And we just talk about the most randomest things from just like our day-to-day life and just spiritual things too.
I will miss the relationships I've had here. And I know once I go back home, I'm gonna think about all the challenges we had, everything we had to do, and just the fun that we had doing multiple tasks at once. So that's what I'm gonna miss.
In this program, I really got the chance to understand myself better and who I am, what are my strengths, my weaknesses, and I'm continuing to learn and grow spiritually as well. And I figured out my calling in this program. I'm called to be a pastor. So this program, if you're somebody who does not know where you're headed with your walk with Christ or what you're called to be, I think this program is perfect for you because it helps build your character and it helps you to grow spiritually in a way that when you leave this program, people are not going to recognize who you are because of the change. And you don't notice the change until the year's over, until you go back to your family, because it's a day-to-day lifestyle, which is doing ministry, eat, sleeping, and breathing Jesus all day, 24/7. And it's amazing.
So something of value, my experience is just sometimes you need to change perspectives. You need a change of a place to get to know God more. And it's difficult, but God will provide.
Hijo, Dios te bendiga. Felicidades este día de tu graduación. Creemos que Dios está contigo siempre. Te amamos y bendecimos en todo momento. Siga adelante porque Dios siempre está contigo.
Gracias damos a Dios, hijo, por todo lo que has hecho hasta ahorita, porque sabemos que Dios te ha llevado de la mano y que tiene un propósito contigo y estamos muy orgullosos del que has sido un joven valiente y esforzado y sabemos que Dios cumplirá su propósito en ti, donde quiera que vayas, Él estará contigo. Bendecimos tu vida y también la vida de Richard, Margarita y del pastor Larry. Y damos muchas gracias a Dios por cada uno de los maestros que ha estado aportando a tu vida. Que Dios los bendiga y los prospere. Besos y sabes que siempre puedes contar con nosotros. Te amamos. Bendiciones.
Hey, U-Turn Masters Commission. This is Pastor Mike from Promised Land Covenant Church, and this is a shout out and a congratulations to my Brianna. Brianna, we love you. We're so proud of you, and words can't express our gratitude. Pastor Larry, Pastor Jasenia, Pastor Rich, everybody over there that's just done so much work to love you guys. So grateful for what U-Turn is doing, and particularly Masters Commission as a conduit to transformation and theological education. At that first level. I appreciate you guys so much. Brianna, you're a miracle. I know where you come from. God knows where you come from. And God knows where He's sending you. The glory, the glory, the glory, the glory. Stay humble, stay low, stay vulnerable before God. I love you. I'm proud of you. We believe in you. Stay in Chicago as long as you can. and then let the Lord send you out. I love you. Congratulations on completing the program.
Christopher, Dios te bendiga. Por este medio quiero aprovechar la oportunidad para darle gracias a Dios porque tú eres un hijo muy especial. Te doy gracias por todos los esfuerzos que tú has hecho. Sé que han sido muchas las pruebas que has pasado, pero sé que Dios no te ha desamparado. Eres muy especial, te deseo lo mejor, sigue hacia adelante y Dios tiene grandes planes para ti. Bendiciones y Dios te bendiga. Te amo.
Amén. Así es, Christopher, recuerda que todo lo podemos en Cristo, que nos fortalece. Sigue adelante, por eso la palabra de Dios dice, mira que te mando, que te esfuerces y seas valiente. No temas ni desmayes, porque Jehová tu Dios estará contigo donde quiera que vayas.
Amén. Felicidades.
Hey, congratulations.
Hey, Willie, congratulations, and I wish you much continued success.
Hi, Willie, it's your sister. I love you very much, and I'm happy you completed this program. Congratulations, and I'll see you soon.
Good job, Willie. Congratulations, man.
Hey, Willie, congratulations. Hope to see you soon. Good luck with everything.
Oh, hi, Willie. Congratulations. I love you, and you know that I'm going to be here for you whenever you need me, and I'm very proud of you. Bye.
Yo solo así en español. Felicidades, Willie. Tú sabes que yo soy tu tía, tu única tía que te quiere mucho y te ama. Estoy muy contenta que tú vas a terminar tu programa y espero que Dios te ayude a seguir en tu vida muy bien. Cuídate y te quiero mucho. Titi love you. Okay? Bye.
Willie, congratulations. We're so proud of you for completing your program, and good luck with everything else that's coming. We love you.
Willie, congratulations, buddy. Much success in your next endeavors.
Congratulations, Isaiah. I just want to let you know that we all love you and we just amazed and the accomplishment that you've accomplished. Just want to let you know that we love you and thank you for bringing us with you along in your accomplishment.
Isaiah, Mommy looks at the picture of you sitting here at the altar preaching, and you look like a natural, like this was your calling. I'm glad you've met that calling, and I'm glad to enjoy this journey with you. I'm so proud of you. There was times I thought that we weren't going to get anywhere in life with you, but Jesus has changed you. And with that, you've also changed us, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love you, and congratulations.
Para de impresionarme, así que yo dormiré tranquilo, porque tú estás siempre al lado mío. Quiero siempre hacerlo a tu estilo, es tu voluntad la que yo sigo. Esperaré por